There are some givens that you actually have to keep in mind. We generally don't have any electricity, so there's no such thing as like homework. It gets dark at 6:30. 6:30, that's it, because it's right on the equator. So if you want them to do anything, over and above when they're there, it's non-starter. They can't do it. The other thing is that they come in by bus from the camps, and they have to go through all kinds of screening and security things before they can even come into the compound where the university is. So while we were scheduled originally to start at 8 o'clock, the buses didn't show up till 8:30, and that was if they were on time. Basically, we started anywhere from 8:45 to 9 o'clock. That was basically when they would arrive, and then they had to go through a security check, like they had to be frisked and everything else before they could come into the university area. They have no materials. The university gives them a notebook and a pen for each course. And so I actually brought a huge box with me that I paid for that had, I brought duotangs. I just assumed that I would be able to get a 3-hole punch thing there. No way. So thank goodness I brought a 1-hole punch, a little hand 1-hole punch. And they thought that was fabulous. I brought a whole pile of materials that I ran off here so that they could have it, because they all have cell phones, and they use the cell phones to get information that we send them from here. But try to read an article on a cell phone, it's really, really daunting. Now, the place itself does have 2 computer rooms, which are air conditioned. Air conditioning means it was down into the high 20s rather than the 30s to 40s, okay? And that's open to the students, and they actually use that quite a bit. But the difficulty is that the buses leave to go back at 4 o'clock. So, if we're teaching from 8:45 basically until 3:45, we cut our class 15 minutes short so that they can say their prayers before they get on the bus, because otherwise they miss that prayer block. I think in terms of the teaching itself, the biggest difficulty was the cultural difference between all of these teachers, because they are teachers that work within a classroom, and how I work within a classroom. For example, and this is just cultural, all it is cultural. One of the things that they will do is they'll raise their hand like they want to get you, but they snap their fingers and they go, here. But the one that I goofed on was the first day, one of the students arrived late, and it was a man, and he came in, and I put my hand out to shake hands with him, and he backed away. He backed away like I was going to do something to him. Women don't touch men's hands like that. You can touch them on the shoulder or something, but if it's you don't shake hands with them unless there's a piece of cloth in between. I've got to admit, the students were fabulous. These men and women were wonderful, and we would laugh about a lot of things. I think the biggest thing that I pulled away from all of that was their incredible desire to learn. I've really got to hand it to them. They have very, very little. They have very little to work with. Like even in the schools, they don't even necessarily have textbooks for all of their students. And the textbooks that we borrowed from, I had them borrow from one of the local schools. Some of them were just pieces of odd pages that were just sort of stacked together. They're not even bound in many instances. But they really are interested in learning, and they really want to know how to do it well. They're really good teachers. They really are. They're quite dedicated, because they do a lot of stuff that I probably would, with my background, think twice about. They only get like about $7 a month pay for what they do. I think the biggest thing is that they're just totally delightful people. They're sort of everyday people. They've got a great sense of humor, which is thank goodness for me. I'll be going back next April to teach the special education course. It's a 3-credit course, and they usually teach it in about 5.5 days, full days.